Hey everybody, I'm Robert with Zenfolio, and hanging out with me today is the super talented Ana Teresa from anateresa.com.
And today we're going to be talking about finding your ideal client and how that affects your marketing strategy.
So Ana Teresa, before we go into talking about developing your ideal client, can you tell people back home just a little bit about who you are?
Sure. So I'm Ana Teresa Galizes, and I am primarily a wedding photographer. I got a BA from Peace College in journalism and public relations, and then I went on to North Carolina State University to get my Master's of Science in Communication, and there I primarily studied communication as a social science.
So can you kind of explain, just so we have a clear understanding of what's the difference between identifying your ideal client versus your audience?
Sure. So I have one type of ideal client, but I came to realize that I have multiple audiences. And so my ideal client is a female between the ages of 22 and 38. And most of the time, that's who's making the decision about photography for the wedding. It does not tend to be the groom, it tends to be the bride. So I also realized, though, after putting out there stuff on social media that was trying to cater to this ideal client, that this was not my only audience. The grooms were following me on social media as well. And a lot of times they were following me after they'd already had their wedding. So it's not very interesting for them to see me just post photos of couples all the time. And that's when I realized that I needed to showcase more of my values and the things that I'm about and the things that I enjoy. And so not only is that good for the grooms who follow me, who I think don't have much interest in seeing photos of couples all the time, but also for brides who share those values. Women who love to travel and to have awesome food experiences and love wine and craft beer and stuff like that. So it really helped me, I think, to reach more of my target audience and audiences when I had this realization.
So can you tell me, what does it mean exactly to choose your ideal client?
So choosing your ideal client, it really makes your life a lot easier, because when we start our businesses, we really want to be everything to everyone out of fear. But when you're making decisions out of fear, you're not going to make the best decisions for your business. Although I know that in the beginning, we just want to work as much as possible and to work with as many people as possible. As we get deeper into it, I think we come to realize that there are clients with whom we enjoy working more than others. And there are certain types of weddings or whatever events or whatever the case may be that you photograph that you enjoy more than other aspects of photography. And so you basically just want to show more online of what you want to attract.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I first got started, I know I was taking any job that I was trying to get, and I didn't really go through the process of identifying an ideal client. So I was just taking whatever I could get and really just kind of didn't really have a direction. And so I think maybe that's probably one of the benefits of doing this, is you kind of have a direction and a goal and something that you're working toward.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with that. I think that once you define that ideal client, then the messaging and the imagery that you put online, they're going to be more specific, and it's going to be easier for you when you have those parameters versus when you have just wide open space to put whatever, and we do tend to put whatever out there in the beginning.
So can you tell me a little bit about the process that you use to kind of identify your ideal client?
Sure. So what I did was I looked to my past clients and tried to think about who I had really enjoyed working with and why, and trying to find the similarities between them. And I did this so that I wasn't just making up a dream client who didn't exist. So I tried to pull those elements from past clients and then made a list, and that's when I created this fictional character who I call Olivia, who is my ideal client. And so before I post anything online, I try to think about how it would resonate with Olivia. What you want to do is use that information and apply it to your marketing strategy and even to your business strategy. And I like to revisit both of those once a year. And I also like to redefine my ideal client and sort of hone in a little bit on who she is and what she's all about. I like to do that on a yearly basis as well.
So at the end of the year, you take, your experiences from that year and you kind of use maybe information that you've learned to kind of redefine, or maybe not even redefine, but understand a little bit more about who Olivia is.
Yes, exactly. What I also like to do every year is identify where my clients are coming from, how are they finding me, and once I realized that it was mostly through referrals, both from past clients and from people in my personal life who know what I do and like to share that with other people, and I realized that I needed to work on nurturing these relationships more. And so what I do with past clients is that I still follow them on social media and I like their photos and I comment and just try to stay present in their minds. I also like to send them like a holiday card and like gift cards and things after their wedding day. Like I said, I just try to stay present so that they continue to think of me and continue to refer me to their friends. And their friends are probably going to be people who are similar to them. And so if I enjoyed working with these clients, then I'm probably going to enjoy working with their friends.
Right, so these are people, because they're your ideal client, they're people that you already feel like you can relate to already on a personal level, so it's not that hard to kind of nurture that relationship and keep it going and keep those referrals coming in and just kind of grow it from there.
Yeah, and I think that that's really because I try to work with people who feel like I could be friends with in the real world, outside of our photography relationship, outside of our business relationship, and so it's easy to keep up with them and to stay invested in their lives because of that.
Awesome, great stuff. So the last thing I want to talk about is, what about if you work with like multiple genres? If you want to, really project yourself as a wedding photographer, but that you also want to put yourself out maybe as a boudoir photographer or a portrait photographer. Are you developing ideal clients in all of these genres, or how do you do that?
I think your shared values with other people are going to translate across multiple genres. I think if you enjoy working with a certain type of person with a certain personality, then you're going to enjoy working with them across the board. So it may be that you're attracting wedding clients who are similar to the parents who you're getting in for family sessions and so on and so forth.
So it's kind of two parts. They're seeing your work, they know that you're doing really great work. It might not be the type of work that they're interested in, but then they're also seeing your personality come through and they're relating to you, and that's why they're seeking you out.
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
It's the genre that you are projecting or not.
Exactly. And see, I don't really show any of my portraits or family sessions or anything online. I mostly show my weddings and my personality, but I still get inquiries for other types of sessions because people see me online and they see me as someone with whom they want to work.
Well, as a final question, can you kind of give me an example, before you did this process, what is the biggest thing that you saw, the difference that you saw after going through this process, where, when we start out, we really don't know what we're doing, we're just trying to get all the jobs that we can, and then you took the time to refine your process, define an ideal client. Like, what benefits did you see immediately, if any immediately?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely booking a whole lot more than I used to, although, it may not just be because I do this process. I think this process is extremely important, but I'm not sure that it's the only factor in my bookings having increased. I also like to just look like I'm super busy online, just look like I'm really in demand, and I think that especially when you're starting out, that helps you bring in more work because people see that you're in demand and then they want some of that as well.
Absolutely.
Scarcity.
Supply and demand. Yeah, exactly. Well, Ana Teresa, it's been great hanging out with you today. Thank you so much for all this really awesome information. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and you can find me at anateresa.com.